Welcome, creatures and cryptids, to Picta Mori. Apparently a Spooktober visual novel jam, so let's do this. New game. Oh, love there's like my taskbar still. Okay, great. 10 out of 10. No, I don't need the mic. Oh shit. Something's happening. Garfield? You there? Miss Greenwood? Miss Greenwood, are you okay? I come back from my thoughts and see Emma staring at me from the other side of the room. She looks worried. It's raining. I close the window and sit down in my chair. Sorry, I was miles away, I reply and give her a smile. She frowns, probably figuring out that I was forcing it. Emma comes here more often now, since her classmate Alex died in a car accident 2 months ago. We talk for an hour every week. I serve her homemade cookies and tea, and she chooses peppermint each time, since it calms her mind. Its distinctive aroma fills the room and covers the scent of lavender I use. She suffers from panic attacks, which have gotten much worse due to the accident. Her mother died in a car crash when Emma was only 6 years old. Emma takes a sip from her cup. She does it so delicately, like a duchess. The rain continues pitter-pattering against the glass. She looks through the window. Dad's dating again. She's picking me up today. She pauses and keeps her face turned away from me, though I can hear how she's chewing her lower lip. Do you like her? Dad seems happy. How do you feel about her? She didn't try to hug me the first time we met. That's a plus. She just chuckles dryly. We're supposed to go on a picnic today. All three of us. Are you sad it's raining? I feel sorry for Dad. He's been playing this day the whole week. Emma releases her right hand from the cup and takes the tissue. She brings it forth to her eye and dry her tears. I know he means good, but he just doesn't get it why I always seem so distant to them. There was this Jeanette Dad was seeing a couple years ago. She was very affectionate, but not annoyingly so. I kept telling Dad she was too good for him. She chuckles bitterly. Her perfume reminded me of summer. It was similar to what my mom used to use. Emma looks down to see her cup and smiles a little. It was like I got a small piece of Mom back. She sniffles quietly and graces tears off her cheeks. We were going to spend the Christmas day together. I got her a tea mug with the butterflies on it. She texted Dad just a couple days after, and I haven't seen her since. She never called me or anything. Each time I found someone I like, they disappear. I just don't want to get hurt anymore. I'm a coward, she sobs and hides behind her tissue paper. You don't seem like a coward to me, Emma. I talk genuinely and smile at her. You have shown great courage in coming to speak with me. She blows her nose quietly, leans back in the chair, and takes a deep breath. Her eyes turn red. Tea's gone cold. She laughs with relief. I reply to her chuckle and put my notes down. There's plenty left. You're always welcome to stop by for a cup. Thank you, Miss Greenwood. She smiles shyly and hands me over the cup. I reach to take the cup from her and put it down next to mine on the table. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. Send my regards to your dad, okay? I will. So am I the therapist? The rain has gotten worse, and I start heading back home from the gym. I live quite close to the city center, so I'm used to walking everywhere. With just a couple of blocks left, I hear my phone buzzing in my bag. Curious to see who had messaged me this late, I pick up my phone. It's from Lizzie. I was with her at the gym. Some creep was staring into the lobby and left right after you, checking if you're alright, XO. Shivers run down my spine as I almost dropped the phone without stopping. I quickly glance behind me. A tall, broad-shouldered person is following me, likely a man, although I can't see the features well due to the rain. I have been able to hear the sound of footsteps. With my hand shaking in the cold air, I text her back. I'm followed almost home. Call police. I switch the GPS on before I stuff my phone back in the bag. I go through my options. I try to run straight to the door, or should I try and lose them in the buildings? Get to the house. I use the element of surprise and take advantage and start running. My legs are still burning from the sprinting class, but I can't slow down. I slip around the corner and dash to the door. The 4-digit access code was recently changed, so I haven't fully memorized it yet. Fuck, I don't know it. My hands are shaking from the adrenaline rush. I start pressing the buttons. First, 4 numbers, and finally hash to confirm. Oh, oh. Uh. Crap. I don't know the numbers. He's just around the corner. I need to lose him quick. I take a swift turn to the close alley on my left and quicken my steps. To my horror, I see my pursuer spinning up in a jog and hanging at me. Left. My heart is pounding as I scamper through the alleys. The sound of my boots is echoing from the walls surrounding me. Left again. I don't look behind. I keep going. Straight. Someone's calling, but I can't stop now. Just a few more turns and I'll be at my door. Left. My eyes are eating, feeling hurt. Run straight. Didn't seem right. Have I turned the wrong turn? Run straight. Where am I? I don't recognize any of this. Straight. I can't breathe. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, I got in? Okay. Oh, shit. The police couldn't find a single trace of the man, but promised to go through the surveillance cameras in case they had caught him on those. Lizzie and I described him the best we could, and they assured me that they would be in touch if they find any fitting suspect. Lizzie stayed overnight in the next one. I was sorry to see her leave, but she promised she'd call me as often as she could. I hated myself for abandoning the children, but I just couldn't leave the apartment. I could barely look at the front door without feeling sick. Dad stopped by a few times to bring me groceries and watch TV together. He loves old kung fu movies. It was nice to have him around. He told me to quit drinking, but I could smell whiskey each time he hugged me on the door before leaving. And each time he would ruffle my hair and say, "You'll be alright, you're a fighter, you're a Jackie Chan." He's just saying that ever since Mom died. What if this time Jackie won't make? I asked him last night. He will always find a way. There could be a liar just around the corner, he laughed. I hugged him for the second time and didn't let go, and once I lost sight of his car from the window, I let myself fall on the floor and cried my heart out. So we were playing as the girl, okay? Right? What a few weeks felt like an eternity. It was good to be back at the school. I don't know. Everything was as before, except my green switch with the janitor forgot to water. Miss Wood should get plastic instead, easier to take care of, she said when we took the withered plants to the trash. She dropped my lavenders in a candle jar while picking up the dead golden photos from the shelf. Oh, photos. Its sturdy glass got barely scratched when it was at the floor with a strong impact. You should get rid of this foul thing before it gets you killed. She shook her head, horrified by the dent that appeared in the floor. Emma and many others came for a visit during the day. She leaped to my arms the moment I opened the door and broke into tears. She stayed for tea and told me everything I had missed during the week's absence. According to her orange, she'd been doing just fine, but her father is still seeing Santa. Okay, so we are the therapist. Sorry, we've been back and forth. The businesswoman she told me about before. Emma has apparently gotten along with her well. Santa is Finnish and has shown pictures of Lapland, where some of her family lives. She's promised to take Emma there someday and meet the real Santa Claus and his reindeer, although Emma was sure she was just trying to be teaser. It was relieved to see her happy, and I promised I could see her again soon once I probably get back on my feet. By afternoon, my desk was overflowing with cards and gifts from the children and the staff. I was getting ready to leave for the day when I heard knocking on the door. "It's open," I call it while packing my things. I'm sorry to bother this late, so Miss Greenwood, I can come back tomorrow if you're just leaving. "Oh, it's quite all right, Samir. Please come in." I wished him welcome and offer a seat. Samir is one of Alex's closest friends. Samir visited me a couple times after the accident, but I haven't talked to him since. "Would you like something to drink? I got tons of chocolate. He wants some." "No, I'm fine, thank you," he says. Samir walks in and closes the door behind him. He seems really anxious. How can I help you?" I ask, smiling, keeping a little distance from him. I don't know how to say this, he pauses, but it's been haunting me for months now. Samir takes his phone out and turns the screen towards me. Oh, it's a picture of Alex. I feel nauseous. I close my eyes and try to shake it off, but Alex's empty stare is burned in my mind. "Put that away, please." Samir follows my request and immediately takes his phone down to his side. God, why would you show me that? Who took it? The police? Where'd you even get that? The flood of questions rushed out of my mouth. You won't believe this, but Alex sent it to me only one day before the accident. How is that even possible? Why would Alex do something like this? Photoshop himself like that? My head keeps filling with questions. It's not Photoshop, Miss Greenwood. Allow me to explain. Alex and I used to read scary stories we found on the internet. One night, Alex came across a site called Picta Mori, the name of the game. It's one of those AI image generators where artificial intelligence would create a picture based on your description. According to this scary story, if you should enter your own name as a text prompt, it'll send it by the AI exactly at 3 a.m. AI produces the picture of how you would die, Samir explains calmly. It quickly became an online dare among young people. Shockingly, there are a lot of evidence that how the predictions came true. I knew Samir wasn't the kind of person who would tell a lie, especially when it was about his friend. I need to sit. My head hurts. I let myself drop into the chair. All lights room dazzle my eyes. This is a bit too much. I'm terribly sorry, Miss Greenwood. I just couldn't keep this to myself anymore. He looks down. I feel like this guy just cursed us. I'll ask him to leave. Please, could I ask you to leave? My head feels like I'm going to split in half. Yes, of course. Thank you for listening. I'm fine. I'll just... Miss Greenwood? I can hear Samir's calming voice as he calls an ambulance until everything goes silent. Do you have any plans for the weekend? I don't know yet. Hey. I heard Susan's holding a party. Yeah. You're not going? I don't know yet. Could be fun. Yeah. I woke up at Central Hospital just a couple hours after the paramedics had brought me in. Knowing my condition, the doctor wanted to keep me in the monitors overnight. Hospitals always made me anxious, and staying in for a night felt much like a death sentence to me. Luckily, the room they gave me was unoccupied, and after the supper, I was tired enough to fall asleep quickly. The next evening, I was allowed to leave after the checkup. The doctor encouraged me to call someone to take me back home. Call Lizzie. What wanker? Arseholes like this shouldn't be driving it. Is it assholes or arseholes? I can't tell. Driving but a tricycle? Lizzie has the hooks of a saint. Or looks of a saint, but she swears like a trooper. How was your day? It was a disaster, Lizzie complains bitterly. I made an ass of myself. What happened? She sighs heavily. The kids were being obnoxious. She shakes her head and says, I thought I had planned the perfect lesson. They just wouldn't listen. So you lost control? She gives me a look that's equal parts exasperated and irritated. Of course I did! And what'd you do? I asked gently. I told them to shut up! Did you apologize to them? No, I'm not sorry. I meant every word. Then you've learned something by the way. You can only take action when you're calm and collected. Who says that? Rumble and Bandnock, 19th century 7. Oh, bugger off, nerd. We look at each other shortly and start laughing. It's so good to have your sense of humor back, Lizzie exclaims. Well, don't get used to it. What do you mean? She looks at me strangely. Oh, now I'm telling her. Oh! What? I'm sorry. I didn't see that coming. I've got cancer. She stops laughing. What? Where? She gasps. Up in the think box, I answer painfully. It was diagnosed back in June, so enjoy my company while you can. What the fuck? That's such a brutal way of saying it. Oh my god. Fucking me too. Yeah, I know. Are you going to die? It's too early to say for sure, but the doctor said the chances are 50-50. Fuck, that's terrible. I'm really sorry. It's okay. That's the opposite of Kate, idiot. She shouts and hits the steering wheel. What about chemo? I'm going to try conventional treatment first, which consists of radiation and chemotherapy. If that doesn't work, then I'll talk about surgery. Do you want me to come to the hospital? Sure, why not? That'd be great, I respond. I feel more comfortable with you there. She nods and looks at the road again. It started to snow. We both silent for a moment. This sounds weird, but if you could look at the future, how you die, would you do it? Wait, if you could look to the future, how you die, would you do it? No, absolutely not. I hate death. Would you? I don't know, maybe. If you knew your death was going to look like, it might make things easier for you. I doubt it. What if it was all going to end tomorrow and you had a chance to spend your last day alive doing whatever you wanted? I'd probably sleep until noon and then go out for lunch. Ask her out? Ask her out? After that reveal? Look, I'm all for finding true love, but I feel like, sure, it'll be great if you survive, and then maybe then ask her out. Be like, oh yeah, I finally made it. Now that I'm not having to see those angels, I can see one right here. That would be really smooth. This is not the time. I'm gonna let it slip. Sounds nice. What would you do? I'd go on a long walk outside somewhere beautiful. She laughs. Sounds exactly like you. Why do you think that? She looks straight ahead. Because you're a nutter introvert who would rather spend time with birds than your friends. Yeah, I guess so, I laugh. There's no signs we drive through snow. It would have been so awkward if I asked her out right then. Because the way it's, first of all, you dropped the bomb on her, which is already hurting her emotional state because a friend of hers is dying. Like, of course this isn't confirmed. I'll finish this. But like, that'd just be an awful thought. Like, because if you end up with her and you survive, that's sure, great, but that means you still put someone who you love in emotional torment by adding more, like, it seems weird to ask then, because if you don't survive, then you're just adding more stress onto it. I don't know, man. I think I'll be going. That's wonderful. I'm really proud of you. Dad didn't take it well, though. We usually play tennis together on Fridays. Remember, you have the right to do your own choices. He says house parties are a waste of time. Talk to him. He was once your age, too. Alex? Oh, shit. I should have listened to my dad. What's wrong? What happened? I made my own choice, just like you told me. And look what it did to me. Alex, where are you? I can't see you. I'm right here, Miss Greenwood. Look at me. I wake up covered in sweat with a terrible headache. Lizzie is sleeping soundly next to me like nothing happened. I get out of bed quietly and put on my dressing gown. I look for the painkillers in the nightstand. The alarm clock glows a gloomy green light and tells me it's 2:43 a.m. I grab the pills and swallow them down without water. Damn. They get stuck in my throat and make me cough. She stirs but doesn't wake up. My stomach feels queasy and my head keeps pounding until the painkillers start working. Only 15 minutes left. There is an eerie silence in my apartment. I feel scared every time I hear noise outside. I want to go back to sleep, but I can't stop thinking about that cursed website. What if it's true? What if I can know what would be the enemy? And what if knowing scares me so much that it makes me things worse? A wave of panic washes over me and I sit on the edge of the bed gripping my knees while I watch the clock. Less than 10 minutes now. I take a deep breath and squeeze my eyes shut. I picture myself lying in a hospital bed with my head shaven and tubes attached everywhere. I need to know. I have to find out. I quietly go to the living room where my laptop is. My hands are shaking as I open the lid. Is this really going to help? Would knowing my fate make things worse or better? Will it change anything? I can't choose to not know. I open the browser and type in the address to the search bar. The page loads and I'm greeted by an ominous picture and a warning. This website contains material which may be inappropriate for some users. Do you wish to proceed? I click yes and the text fades away and the new window opens. In the middle of the screen is a form I have to fill in. According to Samar's explanation, all I need to do now is to write my name and await till the clock strikes exactly 3 a.m. I take a deep breath and begin typing my full name. When I finish, I close my eyes and try to relax. The next thing I know, the clock says 3 a.m. I press enter and wait. Nothing happens. Check the time again. 3:01 a.m. Still nothing. I'm starting to think there's no way this works. Maybe I've made a mistake somewhere. I'm sure I typed the name correctly. I refresh the page. A picture of a woman appears on the screen. Her eyes are closed and there's a gaping wound in her forehead that says a pool behind. The resemblance is remarkable. My heart beats faster. I lean close to the screen. It's definitely me. My chest tightens. I can't breathe. I try to move my mouth and close the window of my hand and won't obey. I keep staring at the picture of me. I can't turn my gaze away. I'm terrified. I don't understand it. Why would this be me? How did they get a picture of me? No. Something isn't right. There's a high-pitched ringing in my ears when my vision starts to blur. I can barely see the screen anymore. I shake my head to try and clear and close my eyes. That horrible image flashes in my mind and makes me feel nauseous. My head feels like someone's twisting a knife inside it. Please, make it stop. I cry out loud and desperately throw my laptop aside. It crashes against the floor and the monitor turns off. How do I say? Meelan? I'm gonna say May. May, Lizzie is fresh into the room and switches the lights on. What's wrong? She shouts and comes over my couch. Something bad, I gasp and lean to her. I saw a picture of me. I explain everything. I tell her about my dream and the website and she listens without saying a word. She tries to comfort me by stroking my hair while I keep crying against her shoulder. I feel weak and exhausted. She brings me a glass of cold water and places it on my lips. And we sit there together in silence, watching the 3 minutes tick away. When I come around, it's already morning. I curl up in a ball on the couch and try to ignore the throbbing of my temples. My laptop light's broken in the carpet, reminding me of what happened last night. Lizzie comes from the kitchen carrying a tray with coffee and toast. I nod numbingly and take a sip of the bitter liquid. Is it that bad? She asks, looking worried. I shake my head. No, it's just, you'll be okay, she assures me. I'm sorry I woke you up. Don't worry about it, she smiles. She promises to give me a lift later back to school and pick up my things that are out there. It's almost noon before I finally force myself back to my feet. Lizzie drives me to the school's entrance and says she'll be waiting for me until I'm done. Since it's Saturday, I have to call the janitor to let me in. I'm doing this fully southern. You keep peely wally, are you feeling alright? I manage a weak smile. Yeah, I'm okay. I guess I wasn't sleeping well. She gives me a sympathetic smile and gestures to get inside as she unlocks the door. That should be everything. I put down the bag and take my belongings test. I sit down in my chair and take a little rest before heading back when the door suddenly opens. I thought I heard someone in here. A middle-aged man leans in the door. Do you teach her? He asked me. No, I say quickly and stand up. He looks at me suspiciously. I'm sorry for interrupting your work, he smiles politely, but his eyes are piercing like needles. I work as a psychologist here. Is there something I can help you with? I smile back to him. I'm looking for my son's locker. His voice sounds straining. What grade is he in? I asked. He was third year high school, he says slowly. He died a few months ago. You must be Alex's father, I asked. I'm terribly sorry for your loss. He nods again sadly. Yes, that's right. You know my son? You could say that. I gave him a small smile. The man walks to my desk and offers me his hand. I'm David, he says. I shake his hand. May I please meet you? He's a strong grip. So, you've been talking to my son, he's asked me? I'll tell the truth. Yes, he stopped by a few times. Thank you for taking care of him. He was such a polite young man, I tell him honestly. What did he tell you about me, he says. Tell a white lie? I'll tell the truth. He says he loves you very much, but he didn't always agree with you. I'll look at him. His face turns pale as he looks away from me. I'm about to talk to him when my phone starts to ring. I'm sorry, let me get this really quick. David waves silently for a response and watching the desk. I reach my bag. The call comes from a restricted number. Hello? This is the Assistant Commissioner Scully speaking. Is May Greenwood on the phone? My heart begins to race. Yes, I answer, my voice breaking. May, is everything alright? Yeah, I'm fine. I forced myself to sound calm. We've got news concerning your report from the last month. We found footage of the person you were looking for. Yes? We're sending you a copy of what we found. Perhaps you could help us recognize the suspect. Okay. Fuck. I freeze. Fucking me too! There's no denying it. The person in the picture is David. I gasp out loud. David is sitting with himself on the opposite side of the room. May, something wrong? Yes, that tapestry looks really pretty. I try and speak calmly. Do you require emergency service? Please, I'd love that. I laugh and keep my eyes on David. Are you in immediate danger? Absolutely. I'd love to order 5 rolls. I lean over the desk and close my eyes for a second. My pulse is beating so fast I can feel it through my fingertips. Understood. Officers on their way. Please don't hang up. Thank you. I reply and face the phone on the chair without ending the call. Alex told me a lot of things about you, David says without turning at me. Did he? I turn my head and look at him with a forced smile. He always spoke so highly of you, he continues. He was an excellent student. I try and sound neutral. He was smart and funny. He told me how you encouraged him to stand his ground. I tried to give him confidence, but I also wanted to make sure he had a safe space where he could express all his feelings. And what makes you think he didn't feel safe at his home? David asked me quietly, but I can sense suspense, anger in his voice. Maybe he was afraid that if he talked to the people he loved, he wouldn't be willing to listen? You mean his own father? His voice is low. I'm sorry for your loss. What happened to my son is your fault, he growls in anger. I open my mouth to respond, but then stop. If he would have listened to me, he would have still alive. I know, I whisper. I'm so sorry, David. You should be, he shouts. I can see the emergency lights reflecting from the window next to me before they go off. Please, David, let me go. You can't bring him back. My voice trembles. David turns his head up close to me. He is holding my candle jar in his right hand, the heavy one. You let him die. He went out and got killed because of you. My arm is shaking. Play more time. Run to the door. Fuck, okay. Let's play for more time because we are not in the mood. We're tired. We can't run. David, I whisper, don't do this. He was my only son. David's voice is breaking. Please, I beg him, let me go. You will pay for his death. David snows at me. David grabs my wrist and pulls me close to him. The sound of shattering echoes the room, and I fall. Shit, I should have ran. I'm staring at the ceiling. I feel something warm running across my cheek. I try to reach it, but I can't move a muscle. I hear footsteps approaching. 2 silhouettes appear around me. Can you hear me? A gentle voice asks. I try to blink, but I can't manage to do so. It's okay, stay still, another voice replies. Another silhouette appears right above me. I hear Lizzie's voice crying and calling for me, but I can't make out her words anymore. I'm tired. I want to sleep. It's been cloudy since November, but the sun over New Year's Day is shining brightly. The rays of sunlight are like a warm greeting from heaven. The fresh air of this winter morning feels warm. I walk along a familiar path through the cemetery and kneel down next to a grave. I dust the snow off the headstone and press my hand gently against a small bronze angel statue fixed in the top of the side of the stone. Happy New Year, Mom, I tell her with a smile. After cleaning up the grave, I continue walking towards the center of the graveyard. There's one more to visit this year. When I arrive at the grave, I notice that the snow has been trampled in the ground. Looks like someone's been here a while ago. I'll reach into my bag and take a butterfly tea mug. When I place it carefully on the snow right next to the headstone, a sudden breeze picks it up and plays with my hair for a brief moment. To new beginnings, I whisper the wind. Picta Mori. Well, Creatures and Cryptids, that was a bit of a somber entry into our series of visual novels. Though that ending definitely how do I say? It was brought back around. The photo was brought to fruition, like fully explained, and I am terrified of how clearly this website that these people took photos on it has some kind of ability, because immediately, like, both people were dead, so it's got to have something. But as always, well, thank you for making the game. Thank you, listeners, Creatures and Cryptids, for joining me on this episode. As we leave you once more, of course, have an amazing day and stay safe, y'all.